Did you go on when I was in Vegas?
I don't know.
Did you go on when I was in Vegas?
I don't
Barney
know.
Banks, did you go on when I was in Vegas?
I don't know. This is a parenting podcast, Jamie.
Go
you
on,
need to pipe
go
down.
on. No, honestly.
I don't know.
Did you go on?
I honestly don't know. So
Go on,
my
tell
TikTok
me.
turn off
Tell
is
me. Tell me.
no.
Tell me.
No.
Right now.
No.
Tell me.
I guess you'll never know, Jamie. Shh, don't tell mum.
Hello,
and welcome to Shh Don't Tell Mum. My name's Barney.
And I'm Jamie.
And this is the 7th most listened to parenting podcast in
South Africa, baby.
Ooh, all right, bro.
We've gone up. We've gone up in the world.
I think we were 9th or 10th the last time we did a little South African review.
Yeah. I'm quite excited about it though.
They beat us in rugby, but we're beating them in the podcast race to the top of Table Mountain.
It's weird. We chart in kids and family and parenting, but I would say this is more comedy couple vibes.
Comedy, do you think you're funny?
No, I think...
Do you think you're funny?
I think you think you're funny.
I am.
But I'm actually funny. Naturally. I can't help it. I'm not forcing it. You know?
Okay. Do you think people are laughing at you or with you?
Bit of both, actually.
Love it. Right. Well...
Hello.
Welcome, everyone. This is our second episode back after New Year's. We've had some brilliant times leading up to this point. We had a really nice Christmas. What did Rocket get for Christmas? Because typically we start our normal episodes with what's new with Rocket, Jamie.
Well, one thing I did want to mention is, okay, for every parent out there going through it, when you're buying Christmas or birthday gifts, don't get them in advance because kids go off things really, really quickly. And we bought him an In the Night Garden teddy bear.
Oh,
and now
Iggle
Piggle, and now he's gone off in the night garden.
Yeah.
So there was me in the middle of the night, 2 days before Christmas, going, okay, I need to get Ben and Holly because he's obsessed with Ben and Holly now. He's literally obsessed. Last week he was saying, Holly, Holly, Holly. Now this week he's going,
Hobbin.
Hobbin, Hobbin, Hobbin.
The Holly and Ben mixed together is Hobbin.
And then I kept looking up gifts and showing him online to see if he knew that it was Holly, Ben and Holly. And he kept looking and he went, Hobbin, 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 Hobbin.
We'd already bought Iggle Piggle from B&M.
So I'm just like, oh, no, we bought that from Smith, so it was even more expensive.
Was it from Smith's?
Yeah.
Mate, B&M is so cheap, mate. Like, if you can go
So
to B&M.
much better.
So what's it stand for? Is it bargain and something? Or is it a name?
Can we look that up, Luke?
Go
What
on,
does
Luke.
B&M
What
stand
does
for?
B&M stand for? Bargain and something.
Bargain and home.
Bargains and madness.
B&M. Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
the people
M.
that fucking
I
work
thought it was
there are mad,
B&H.
that's for sure. Every single time I've gone there,
Madness.
they do not know what they're doing at the till.
They don't.
They don't know what they're doing.
No.
It takes forever.
No, and Amex doesn't exist over there.
You're trying to pay. It's like trying to pay for something in Poundland with an Amex
I
card,
literally
babe.
was
It
like,
doesn't really
you
work.
don't take Amex? Ew.
Gosh. You're that annoying posh mum that everyone's like, oh, here she comes.
With my Lululemon pants and yoga.
Sweaty Betty.
Downward dog. Oh, yeah, I
Downward
did
dog.
go to Sweaty Betty and buy some
Sweaty
things.
Betty's all right. Like,
It's nice.
I haven't got anything against it.
Yeah.
But it's just expensive for what it is.
Really expensive.
You can go to Under Armour
That's
and
why
it's like
they
half
go
the
and
price.
show it off at yoga class.
Yeah, they do.
They don't want to
They
get it
love
dirty and wet.
Sweaty Betty. So yeah, what is new with Rocket? So Christmas time came, we got him the Iggle Piggle, but now he doesn't like in the night garden. Got him a trike, got him his first bicycle. Your mum did.
Tricycle. He can't even reach the pedals
No,
yet. He's so
barely.
short.
But he's not short for his age. You keep saying
I don't
that.
know.
He's
No,
not
but
short
I
for
think
his age.
he is though. He still fits into the 18 months to 24 and he's nearly 2.
But
24 is 2.
yeah, but I feel like
He's properly
still
down the middle, I think. Smack
Okay.
in the middle.
pretty bang on.
And funnily enough, when I was pregnant, every time we got our bump size, they were like, you are in the middle.
Yeah, true.
When he was born, he's in the middle. He's
Yeah.
always been in the middle.
That's true. The kind of the mixture of our heights. Like I'm pretty tall and you're like normal height. So
5'6", yeah.
yeah, it's going to be good. He's going to be like 6'5", I bet you. Going to be a unit.
Can't wait. I can't wait.
Beat
It's
up
gonna
all the other
be
kids.
So friggin' cool.
What
Actually,
would you do
What?
if like a teacher called you and said that he was bullying? Like, what do you do if like no one teaches you or gets you prepped for anything like that? Like do you know what? This is so opposite end of the spectrum of what Rocket is actually
But
like.
we
Because he's such a
discipline him.
sensitive
We do
little soul
discipline.
and he's so lovely and he's very calm. So I could never see him doing this. But in a hypothetical scenario, what do you do if you get the phone call that's like, your son's a bully?
But
You
he
need to
does
sort him
push
out.
the buttons sometimes.
Well,
I
what
don't
do you
think he
do?
could ever be a bully. I mean, I don't know.
What
And I
would you
hope we
do?
will never have to be in that position. Like, okay, one time, this morning actually, he was he had like a sweet in his hand and the dog went to get the sweet and he went, no, no. And he got a bit angry with the dog. And I was like, be nice to the dog. Just like move away. Because he's like floating the treat around him.
He dangles
and like,
the carrot.
you're literally, you're literally doing it to yourself. If you don't want it, like don't be near the dog. But then he did something last night. I don't even remember when we were in the hallway and we were one side of each end and he did, what did he do? He wasn't listening and coming to us.
That was last night, wasn't it?
That was last night.
Yeah, we were trying to get him to come to us so that we could give him his bottle before bed. And he was in my office, which is the other end of the corridor.
Discipline.
So we were like, come here, Rocket. We need to put you to bed. And he was just looking at us and it was like a Mexican standoff. It was like...
And then he did this thing, like he was like, I'm going to try and close this door. So he closes the door and then looks at you. That the sass is another level.
Sassy. And then he kind of slowly took 3 steps towards us and then like started touching the banister like, oh, what's this? And we're like, Rocket, come here now.
Yeah, he does this distraction mechanism. He's like, look at this crumb on the floor. I'm just going to stare at it just that extra bit longer. And you're just like, stop wasting my time. Get here now.
It's been a proper little arsehole, wasn't it? Yeah. So, but anyway, the whole scenario of what would you do if your kid was a bully? I don't know. I feel like I'd have to have stern words with your kid. And just be like, look, I know 100%. What you've been doing.
No, but we've had this conversation before previously in the podcast. Okay. And I discipline other people's children if they're bullying him. And I would do the same to Rocket. If Rocket was mean to one of our friends' children, I would be like, you do not hurt or bully or say these kind of things. Because unfortunately, I would hate people to be like, oh, who are their parents bringing their child like that?
Yeah.
You know, I just want to make sure that I nip that in the bud. And if he does it again, I'll keep trying to nip it in the bud. What? What are you looking at?
Parenting tips from Jamie. We can start a new podcast. How to parent like Jamie.
Well, you have become a better partner than you were in your last relationship. And that's because of me giving you the right advice.
How do you know what I was like in my previous relationship?
Because you always tell me.
Do I?
Always go, I'm really good at communication now.
Can't be asked with any of that. Can't be asked with any of that.
You threw me under the bus on the last. You threw me under the bus on the last episode. So you threw me under the bus in the last episode.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
You said something really mean to me.
Yes, and now I'm going to throw you under the bus.
Okay, so one thing that we do like to stick with.
Back around.
What was that? So, right. Something that we like to stick to the topics of because it's our typical podcast episode, which I'm loving. What is your TikTok turn off of the week?
TikTok turn offs, babes. Haven't done TikTok. You know what? Actually had a social media break because I felt really burnt out. I know we spoke about this. The podcasting, the vlogmas, everything. So I was like, you know what? This Christmas, I did the New Year's party in Turks and Caicos. And then flew back and I was like, Jan, I am just going to relax. So that has been my TikTok turn off. Always turn it on and every time I post it gets no engagement because I haven't been on for not a very long time.
Yeah, I guess consistency is key across all the social media platforms nowadays. So it's like if you haven't been that active on it, then you can't expect to have a welcoming back with open arms from the community. TikTok I guess it doesn't really plug your stuff if you haven't been as active on the app. But that's
a TikTok turner for me, for TikTok itself. Because you're talking about a program today. Like an actual program, right?
A program? What are you talking about?
No, like an app, an application. What do you call them?
What are you on about?
Because you said you were going to talk about TikTok turn-off's issue with...
Your brain's slowly shutting down. Jamie, find some energy.
No, you're talking.
So my TikTok turn off for this week is basically surrounding a couple of social media channels, right? Social media platforms. Because Twitch, right, which is the #1 streaming service platform.
Application.
Yeah, it's a software application, according to Jamie. It's basically like it's constantly changing its terms of service. Now, the biggest problem is with social media platforms like Twitch, there's so many young people on it because it's centered really around gaming. Gaming is like the forefront of Twitch. So they keep changing their terms of service with things like nudity, which is a bit weird. So the problem is, right, Twitch makes so much money off streamers that stream like hot tub streams, bikini streams, things like that. And so there's always a call to action for people saying, please remove these accounts that do hot tub streams and nudity and stuff. So
I thought it was about gaming. Just stick to your thing.
well, this is the thing, but they make so much money because young gamers are like, oh, nudity, I want to click on that. And then they end up clicking on it. So what Twitch tried to do
Like
in the
Barney
last 2
Banks
weeks to counteract this.
Yeah. Okay, guys, can we just say something before we started this podcast? Sorry to like break the bubble here. Barney said, those girls that you've mentioned, I keep seeing them on all these porn sites. And I was like, porn sites? Barney, when have you been on porn sites? And he's like, well, you know, I go away 6 weeks at a time. I went, you went away 6 weeks about 5 months ago. And you're saying just now you're seeing all these women.
It was just something that popped up in my memory. I have memory, Jamie. I can talk to production about a memory that I had about people.
Barney Banks.
Anyway.
How many times do you go? No, tell me, how many times do you go
on porn
on porn sites a week?
Oh, like 3 times a day.
No, be honest with me now.
I don't bloody know.
It's that much?
It's that much.
It's that much.
It's constant.
Did you go on porn when I was in Vegas?
I don't know.
Did you go on when I was in Vegas?
I don't
Barney
know.
Banks, did you go on when I was in Vegas?
I don't know. This is a parenting podcast, Jamie. You need to pipe down.
No, honestly.
I don't know.
Did you go on?
I honestly don't know.
You do know.
No, I don't.
You have memory.
What if I did?
You have
What
memory.
if I did? What are you going to do?
You have memory. Yes. So use your memory.
Got memory, guguys.
Use
Got 32 gigs up here.
Use your memory.
I will. So
Go on,
my
tell
TikTok
me.
turn off
Tell
is...
me. Tell me.
No.
Tell me.
No.
Right now.
No.
Tell me.
I guess you'll never know, Jamie.
You know
You'll be
what?
forever guessing.
I'm leaving. I'm not leaving.
So with this whole Twitch thing, right, what they did is they changed their nudity policy on Twitch to artistic nudity is allowed. So now there's just girls constantly naked on Twitch, but all they do is just don't show their nipples. So they basically stand in front of the camera with their boobs out, no top on, but
Painted.
just above where the nipple starts. And so they are legally, they're
They can
allowed
throw
to do
paint
that.
on that
So
because
they're
it's
allowed to do it on Twitch.
artistic, no?
So basically they're making all this money, but then obviously there's still so many like 14, 13-year-olds are on Twitch and they're basically hovering in the gray areas. So that's my TikTok turn off because they're doing it on social medias like TikTok as well.
Do you think this will all change once Rocket's 16, or do you think there'll be like still happening this kind of
Mate,
arguments
I
with
dread
platforms?
to think of what social media is going to be like when Rocket is 16.
I mean,
That's in 14 years' time.
Can you believe on actual BBC TV we have Naked Attraction? Now, if you're listening to this from overseas in America, we have a show in the UK called Naked Attraction, and what it does is there's 3 people that stand there. It's like blind date. A guy comes in and has to choose between the bottom half, middle half, and top half. And every single time he eliminates one person because of the way they look.
Yeah, it's a purely aesthetic
So
show.
you basically look at their willy and legs first before you look at their torso, and then the
Finally,
face.
you get to the face.
And then you get to the face, and then it reveals it. So it's Naked Attraction. Unfortunately, you think, God, this would have never been shown on TV 10 years ago. Even longer, like 20 years ago.
It's after that's why they invented the watershed, right? So then they can show like 18 rated movies as well after 9 p.m. So it's after 9 p.m. you can show nudity and explicit material, basically.
Oh, is that why it comes on after 9?
Yeah, that's why it's called the watershed. The watershed means like there's restrictions on what you show on screen until a certain point in time.
Talking of restrictions, they are stopping the football. What is the football thing that you can't watch football when it's having a match in between in the daytime? What was the thing where it's not going to be played on TV? There's
like a football match at like 3 p.m.
Yeah, it's a blackout period.
Yeah, and like you can't watch it for some reason. I don't know what the reason is. I think it's 'cause no one's got the rights for it or something.
No, so what they're doing is they're going to change the law. It's the law, football law or something. So I heard on the Ryan Reynolds show that they're actually looking into actually changing that law.
I love how that's like you are talking about football on the podcast. Let's go, Jamie.
I know, I'm up in the world.
Do
But
you know
you're
what the
talking
offside
about
rule
porn
is?
as well.
Yeah, I'm talking about porn. You're actually the one talking about it. You keep
because
bringing it up.
Well, if you didn't watch it and then say, you know what, I saw them on that porno video
So
channel.
what? Who cares? You clearly care.
I clearly care because I want you to porn me.
I do porn
I don't
you,
want
babe.
you to. I don't want you to porn other women and have fantasies about. I don't know. And the problem is you could actually meet them. You could add them to your list.
Yeah,
Talking
I will.
of lists, you know who I added to my list because I played with him.
Yeah, be more specific than saying I played with him,
Okay,
please.
I'm not allowed to because he's got an NDA, but he was in a band and he dated my favorite person in the world, Britney's bestie's with Brit. Anyway, I'll leave it right there because I'm not allowed to mention anything else.
You talk
I added
gibberish.
I added him to my list. Everyone knows what I'm talking about, Barney Banks.
You talk gibberish.
No, they know. They know.
Jamie was DJing with a very famous performer and it was very, very cool. And she was like, can I go to the after party with him? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then she was like, I'm so tired. I'm not going to go. I was like, sounds about right.
I was on my
That
own.
sounds right. Is it because you were on your own as well? You didn't want to go by yourself?
Yeah, I would have just been that weird one. I was that weird person in the gold that you won't recognize because they had all this crazy makeup on.
But you performed at the same event. So technically they should have really welcomed you with open arms and been like, oh my God, can I get you a drink?
Yeah. But unfortunately, when you don't have an entourage, it doesn't really work like that.
God, yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? You were there by yourself and every other performer had like that tens of people, right? That's madness. Right, so you spoke about Britney Spears very briefly. What's happening with Britney at the moment? Give me the besties with Brit segment and give it to me with some zhuzh.
It's just, for some reason, she released her comments early and everyone wrote on there like, we're really worried about you. You've gone downhill. It's got worse. And it has got worse. Like, it's just not getting better. God knows what's happening, but yeah, I mean.
What's got worse? What's not getting better? Talk to me.
Her posts putting on social media.
So
her,
like the nudity
flaunting
and all
around.
that kind of stuff. She's just a bit mad, isn't she? She's just like, and she looks like
had
she's got a
so
glaze over her
many-
eyes. Like
she's
she's
had
not.
so much drugs in her, unfortunately. She's been pumped with all these awful drugs that she didn't want to take and it's changed her
Hold
biology.
on. So she's been pumped with these drugs. Do you not think that some of them have been taken voluntarily? Like she actually just takes recreational drugs?
Well, we hope to not, but it's all this, if you're on lithium for such a long time, it's going to change your...
Weren't loads of people saying that she'd been on meth? Like she has the telltale signs of being someone that's on meth.
Yes, she does. And I don't like
Like
to
the
bring
erratic
it up.
behavior.
The erratic behavior, the sexuality, like how you feel very sexy when you're on it.
And the teeth. Her teeth are going a bit funky. Damn, Britney. What's going on?
But then she's actually got her mum back in her life,
And her sister went on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
which was awesome.
Really
she
cool.
did
She actually
really
came
well.
across quite well as
Really
well.
well.
I thought she was just going to be a bit of a nag.
But you know what? She ruined it by leaving. Bail too soon, babes.
No, I don't think she bailed. She said that she was genuinely ill, didn't she?
No, but then her dad lost his leg. So
What?
Yeah.
Britney's
He got-
dad's lost his leg.
Yeah, he got an infection.
Yo.
around the same time.
Guess what that is?
What?
Karma.
Yeah.
You were that much of a
limb.
dick to Britney like we all think you were. That's karma. You should
Because
lose
we
the
were
other leg
talking
as
about
well.
celebrities the other day, and like you hear lots of things about celebrities, or such and such worked with such and such, it wasn't very nice, etc. But one thing I have to say is no one has ever said that Britney is a horrible person. They've always said she's been the best, loveliest person to work with, except she's been a little bit glazed over in the later years. But other than that, there's never been a bad word said about her. So, you know what? I'd rather be crazy than horrible.
Okay, Britney Spears, we still love you. Don't worry. You can always reach out to us at itsthebankses@gmail.com. That's itsthebankses with 2 S's at
Definitely
gmail.com
gonna
if you want to come on the podcast.
Gonna slide into the DMs.
Give us a message.
Yeah, if you want to date Barney,
Ooh.
you can, but he watches porn, just FYI.
Ah, God. Right, so we often have a lot of stories to tell about Rocket when we're on this podcast. So I figured it might be nice for us to share a story of our own toddler childhood, let's call it. Maybe a story that your parents have told you once before, something that happened to you when you were a toddler, something that you did that was really funny. Do you have a story for me, Jamie?
I do have a story for you, Mr.
Talk to me.
Barney Banks. Okay. So this is very embarrassing. It was in public. Kids do very embarrassing things. And I think my mom wanted to curl up into a ball and die. So this one time we were at the airport and it was around the time that I was always having cereal every day, as kids do.
Okay.
You know, Cocoa Pops to be my favorite. And there was a woman sitting on the chair and we were waiting for our flight. And I was just staring at this woman from across the way, just looking at her. Yeah, just giving her, just looking at her with, loving eyes. My mum's sitting there reading her paper because back then they didn't have mobiles. And I come twaddling over to this woman and I tap her on her shoulder. Madam, sorry to disturb you, but you have a Cocoa Pop on your face. I literally thought she had a Cocoa Pop on her face. And I remember clearly thinking, that's quite nice. I could eat that right now. And then she was so shocked. She didn't say anything and turned back And I just thought, she won't do anything about it. So I tapped her again. Excuse me. Hello? She turned back
The
around.
double tap.
Double tap. I was like, do you want me to get it off for you? At that point in time, my mum was like, Jamie, oh my God, I'm so mortified. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Damn.
Yeah, honestly, imagine Rocket going up to a woman going, you've got a Cocoa Pop on your face.
She
Do you
had a
want me to
mole,
get-"
by the way. That's
Yeah.
what it was. It was a mole on her face, and she thought it was a Cocoa Pop.
That probably is one of the most embarrassing moments. As a mother now, seeing that and hearing it, going, oh God, how embarrassed she must have been when she had that.
That's savage.
Yeah. So that was one thing that I did and I shouldn't have.
I mean, for me, I had a story told to me by my mum where I think I was 4 years old. We lived in Wimbledon. We were in Wimbledon Village, shout out South London. And we were in a shop and I had a packet of Chewits. Do you remember Chewits? And Fruitellas and stuff? So I had a packet of Chewits and I was, unwrapping them one at a time and eating them as you go along. And I had 2 £1 coins in my left hand and I had the Chewits in my right hand. And I must have just not been concentrating and, being distracted by teddies in the shop or something like that. And I ate a £1 coin. So instead of eating a Chewit, I put a £1 coin in my mouth and just swallowed it. And I had a moment of panic and was like, oh my God. And then told my mum, who had as you can tell, imagine my mum.
Oh my God.
She had a meltdown and took me to hospital. They x-rayed me. And basically they were like, you just got to wait for it to pass naturally.
And did it?
And yeah, I shot out a £1 coin. into the
I
toilet.
thought it'd still be in you.
No. It came
Didn't
out.
digest.
Came out. No, it didn't digest. It was metal, babe.
Babes.
So yeah, I crapped out a £1 coin when I was a toddler. So that was probably one of the scariest things for my mum because she thought it was going to get stuck and she thought it was going to cause damage. But luckily it was okay.
Well, the biology on our bodies are pretty impressive. We've
impressive.
got better plumbing systems. I wonder if we followed the plumbing system of our bodies to replicate that for our houses and homes. You know what I mean?
What the fuck did you just say?
Though? The piping work.
What did you just say?
It's one of the thoughts I thought.
You thought that our digestive system is the same as the plumbing system in a house?
They probably got tips from it, just gone, okay, well, if this works, I'm sure it will work in a house.
Jamie.
Barney.
No.
Yes.
You are a donut.
Right, I have 2 written in to us
What's
that I can
stories?
read. Yes, 2 stories.
Oh, we've got stories. I've got a story for you as well. Let's go.
Okay, I'll
Kick
do
us
one,
off.
you do one, then I do one.
Sounds good.
Cool. So my husband is known, this is very relatable, by the way, guys. My husband is known to take a really long time when he goes to the washroom.
Oh, yeah.
It's always been a running joke, but now that there's 3 in the house with only 1 washroom, I've been getting more annoyed and my 3-year-old is totally catching on. The other day, he wanted to get something in the washroom while Daddy was in there and I could feel a tantrum coming on. So I grabbed a book and said, let's read a story while Daddy finishes. This morning, my husband goes into the washroom and my toddler looks at me and sighs loudly and says, I think we're going to need a lot of books today.
God's sake. You're silly. Kids say the darndest things.
They really friggin' do.
My story is so totally different
Is
to that.
it? Not
My
a shit story.
Because I was looking up stories because I was looking up New Year related ones and NSFW stories, of course, not safe for work because they had to be extremely funny.
Wait, did somebody write this into us or was this something you found?
No, this is something that I found.
Okay.
And I found this a really funny story. So I just thought I'd share it with you, even though it's totally unrelated anyway, because this is a saying that I say to you a lot. So it made me tickle. So it tickled me, in fact. A guy that I worked with was at an old lady's house to do some electrical work. And he had to move a bookshelf. When he moved it, a bag fell off the bookshelf and landed on his foot, breaking one of his toes. When he looked into the bag, he saw that it was full of giant dildos. When he reported the incident to the company and he had to write, a literal bag of dicks crushed my foot. Those incident reports go all the way to the CEO of the company. And when he was visiting the office one time, he asked us where he could find the dick bag. And that is now his nickname throughout the company.
The dick bag. Great nickname.
Because I call you bag of dicks sometimes when you piss me off. So there you go.
Should I just buy you a bag of dicks for your next birthday?
You can, babe, if you want. You can buy me a bag of dicks. I'll bring it in and we'll share them around at the Shhh Don't Tell Mum podcast headquarters.
I mean, yeah, wave them around. Stick a SIM card in there with loads of data. Well, because
What?
you said, remember, if you wanted to hide, oh no, was it hide a key?
What? Are
Hide
you
it in a
talking about?
vibrator.
Yeah, we were talking about if you wanted to hide a paperclip from a forensics team,
There you
I'd
go.
put one in a dildo.
With all the millions of dildos that land on my foot. Yeah. What?
Okay, carry on. Okay,
You're
I'm
fabulous.
back in the room.
If you guys
I
do
am
want to write
fabulous.
a parenting fail or a parenting funny comedy, please just drop us an email because
It's
we
the
love
Bankses
them.
at gmail.com. It's the Banks with 2 S's at
And
gmail.com.
we will read them on the podcast. So I have another one.
Go.
This is quite funny, this one. This is really
Let's
cute.
see if it's actually
It's not funny. It's very adorable and I think you will like it.
Okay. We'll be the judge of that, won't we, Luke?
I was doing 100 million chores while my 4-year-old was getting a bit of screen time. Mama, come here quickly. I need you. I run to the couch to see what's the matter. Mama, do you want to lie down and snuggle me under this warm blanket? He holds out a fuzzy blanket. Bearing in mind, he's only 4. He goes, I think about it for 3 seconds and I say, of course, I love snuggles with you. And then 3 minutes later, he says, this is the life. Isn't that
that's
so
really
cute?
I would love Rocket to say that to us one day.
Just
This is the life.
but
When he's
we-
just cuddling us.
I
on the
think it's
sofa.
like every parent's dream. Like if they
Yeah.
are going to get a tattoo, which you all don't want them to, sorry, mum, get
You
mum.
have like 6. Get mum.
The love
You
of my life, mum.
selfish bitch.
I have my mum's initials on me, on my chest here. And
Yeah,
then
you
I
do.
have a rocket and I have my dad's.
do.
Unfortunately,
You've got
Mr.
Rocket?
Banks. Yeah.
Where have you got Rocket?
Got his star alignment
Oh,
when
okay.
he's 1 and I've got R.
I've got a rocket on my
And I've
leg.
got a rocket.
Oh,
I've
yeah, you got a rocket.
3 things of rocket on me.
All right, mate. It's our competition, right? Anyway.
I don't have Barney. Apparently, that's a thing. If you get your partner tattooed on your body,
Then you will break up.
you'll break up.
Yeah. I've heard that as
So
well.
I would never do it.
Would you never do it?
Even though you got a palm tree and I know that was about me. Since then, it's all been downhill from
I got
there.
a palm tree because I got the tattoo in Bali and I wanted to be
No, you got a palm tree
reminded.
because you know I love palm trees. I mean, what is on my arm right now? The biggest palm tree ever.
You're gross.
You are just delicious.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I am.
You're doing really well with your words of affirmation for this year.
Thanks.
Being nicer to me.
You're sexy
Thanks.
sometimes. When you're not rubbing your shoes on me, like every podcast,
I
these
can
damn
rub something
shoes.
else on you. Do you want me to rub something else on you?
Oh, go on in.
Oh no, sorry. I need to save myself for the porn I'm going to watch later.
Yeah, you should actually. It's fun.
The passive aggressive.
I'll see you there.
Should we call this the passive aggressive podcast? I feel like it
Passive
should.
aggressive. I love it. No, I actually do. And you know what? It's been really fun doing the podcast with you. We have good times. We always talk about
I
it
feel
as
like
well.
we connect. We're not on our phones so busy. Oh, we have to post this. We have to do something like this. So I think
Yeah.
it's actually really good for us for our relationship.
I think we sometimes brighten the days of production guys as well. I hear them giggling
no,
to themselves.
they
think we're mental,
they just have
but
to, so we pay them more.
they're just feeding our egos by laughing. You bastards. How dare you? That episode was amazing, by the way.
But yeah, guys, if you want to watch the podcast, because it's definitely funnier to watch than listen, head
Course
over
it
to
is.
the YouTube Shhh Don't Tell
Shhh
Mum.
Don't Tell Mum on YouTube. And if you listen to it on Spotify, it's just Shhh Don't Tell Mum.
She got
once
it
more.
right this week at Shhh Don't Tell Mum.
Indeed. And it's been fun. Episode 37, this is? 37 episodes.
Oh my God. When are we going to stop?
Never. Never going to stop. Although it'd be really nice to get a sponsor one day so we can actually afford what we're doing.
I think everyone loves that there's no sponsor because they don't have to be plummeted with adverts. you know?
Indeed.
quite
And if you're a
nice.
like-minded parent and you want to share us your stories, remember, like we've already mentioned in the podcast episode, it's thebankses@gmail.com, or just send us a DM if you want us to read it out. We'd love to read out your parenting stories, especially if you've got some funny fails that we can chat about. And we'd love to get you guys involved in the podcast episodes as well. So make sure you reach out.
Yeah, make sure we will read it on the podcast. And I'm excited to hear what your resolutions are because what? Every time.
Every time. You just
Is it 'cause I have to
repeat
get
what
the
I
last
say.
word?
You try and get the last word in. It's so funny.
not.
Because I say
I
like,
don't.
make sure you drop us a review.
Because you have
give
to
us a
say something
comment.
about Shhh Don't Tell Mum, so I never get the last word.
Okay, well, what do you want to say? Go on, give us a sign off. Give us your best sign off.
I want you to be better at your resolutions.
What?
You
Like
have
giving your words of affirmation?
You have 1 week to own up to your resolutions, and we'll come back to this. And I'll be like, "How's your fitness going, mate? How is your words of affirmations
That's how it's
coming
going,
along? Yeah,
mate.
have we gone to the 7 wonders of the world? We might have. We might have after this podcast is done. We might do it this week. Who knows?
Sheesh. Is there a seven? Oh, Aurora Borealis. We go to Scotland and see that, on a clear night, you can see the Northern Lights.
I've just come back from Ireland. I'm not going to Scotland.
Scotland's amazing. What are you on about? Scotland's such a nice country.
I want to go somewhere warm.
It's January.
It's exactly. I was in Turks and Caicos and it was delicious.
You're a butthole. I love you.
I hope you enjoyed your porn when I was away. Love you. Shhh, don't tell mum. You can tell you didn't tell me that you watched porn. What?
Are you done?
I'm done.
Are you done?
That was my finish.
All
Follow
right.
the podcast and share it with a friend.
Love you, bye.